Hey y'all, this is Tory, and this is Let Me Fix That Crown for You, sister. Today we have a very important, very, how can you say it, just topic that needs to be discussed. We're going to talk about managing anxiety in a world full of perfection. I also have one of my new sisters here, Ebony. Ebony girl, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I am Ebone Manuel, and I'm excited to talk about this topic today. It's very dear to my heart, considering we all experience anxiety from time to time. So.
Okay. So, when did you first experience anxiety?
Well, I would really say as a child, I was a very shy child, and I used to really get anxiety when people would stare at me. It used to make me cry as a child, but as I got older, I kind of got over it. And I actually recently started experiencing more anxiety these past few years surrounding the death of my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
So we were kind of on edge a lot. Her death was very quick. And so it just kind of took us by surprise. And me not wanting to face the reality of her demise was actually causing me anxiety very constantly through her hospital bouts and things like that.
Okay. Well, how did you manage it? Like, did you have people around you to help you with it, or do you have something like, do you meditate? Do you have something to go to help with
I
it?
really mostly prayer
Yeah.
um, and breathing exercises would kind of help me come out of the panic attack, because at times I would have panic attacks. Um, and pretty much prayer was the thing that would keep me at peace throughout it, going through it. Without that, I think it would have been much harder to manage.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. With me, I've I've dealt with anxiety, but I didn't know that that's what it was. With me, when I feel the anxiety, I feel everything is loud. You know, they always say you have the voice in your head and that's your subconscious talking to you and everything, but my voice was always louder than anything that I could control. And then when that happened, everything else around me got louder, and I didn't know how to manage it. So I would, gosh, I don't know. A lot of time I used to just sit and cry, and like, what are you crying for? I couldn't give an answer. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like something's wrong with me. So then I found out that if I go by water, anything with water, just the sound of water, just being near it, it calms me down
That's
so much.
good.
And I've also recently, which is crazy, like, therapy in the Black community is not something that is, they look down on it.
It's very
It
taboo.
is. But I go to the therapy now, and my therapist told me, he said, you need to go just ground yourself. And I'm like, what does that mean? She said, you go outside, no shoes on, no nothing, and you stand on the ground, and then you let your senses, your senses, like, what can you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? And that helps calms your anxiety. So
I have to try that.
yeah, that's nice. I love doing that. Okay, so what about when you was a child and it happened? You didn't know what it was.
Right.
Did you, like, were you afraid to tell someone that you was going to, like, I don't know what's wrong with me?
Right. I was to an extent. I would just cry and kind of hide away. And when my grandparents would ask me, what's wrong, I would just tell them, oh, she's looking at me. And I would be just crying. They'd be like, oh, they can look at you. It's
Yeah.
okay. Just breathe. And that was, I think, where I first started the breathing through anxiety.
Do you think having anxiety puts what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a damper on the way people look at you. Say if you go to social media and you're just ranting, do you think, and then we're like, what's wrong with her? Do you think that is something that kind of like triggers it as well? Do you think social media has a way of
Um,
triggering anxiety?
I definitely think social media can trigger anxiety. Um, And then I also see that people use social media as an outlet for their anxiety, which can be
Dangerous.
damaging,
Yeah.
because it's it can come off as a rant to someone who doesn't understand or know, what you're going through. And it would probably be best to filter your anxiety when you want to discuss or just vent about it, find a way to filter that through something constructive.
Yeah.
Because, we see Kanye West on
a down sparrow.
That is the biggest example I can think of someone just ranting through their anxiety. There's got to be a better way to deal with it.
I think he was being sober, and I think that's where the perfection come in at. He was had to be so perfect for so long to now that he's fallen apart. Now he's, oh my God, he's so crazy. Right. Or, but I think like he's just finally letting it loose.
Right.
So, okay, what do you feel about women, especially on social media, who looks at other women and be like, wow, I want to look just like that. And they do everything in their power to look a certain way, but they never achieve the look. Then all of a sudden they go out and like, they're judging me because, like, for me, I'll be like, I'm not on social media anymore, and I will never get back on social media because it was damaging to me. My nose. I've always had an insecure over my nose. Like, my nose is just huge. But, right? Exactly. But
that is Western society.
It is.
Projection of beauty on people. Exactly. That is not necessarily the standard. It shouldn't be anyone's personal standard for beauty. I think that we should all find the beauty within ourselves and stand on that, before letting other people dictate to us what beauty is. But I know it is hard, being in society, you see all of these images. The media portrays so many images of what beauty standards should be and things like that. And it's funny how they change over the years.
Exactly.
Because
it's always a trend.
Now it's a trend, for big lips, full nose. All of these things was not the standard of beauty 10, 20 years ago, but now it's a thing. So I think that's why it's best to try to ground yourself in your own, find the beauty from within yourself, and not let the outside dictate that,
But how can you do that when it's so many voices or so many people around you who, have this expectation of how you're supposed to look or what what you're supposed to feel? Like, how can you go within yourself and find the beauty of yourself and just be like, I'm perfect. Like, I'm perfect the way I am, all my imperfections. It's really hard these days to do it. And unless you have like just people behind you to like, just lift you up all the time.
That's so true. What I tend to do, and what I encourage other people to do is that, everybody has something that they like about themselves, whether it's your eyes, your ears, your hair, whatever it is. Rock that thing to the fullest. Yep. If it's your earlobes, boy, you better show them earlobes and let that be the baddest thing smoking, okay? Because that, that confidence that it gives you when you feel good about yourself, when you feel good about something, that carries you, and that'll carry you a long way, and it'll be hard to hear other voices and to let other things in when you can find the thing about you that makes you happy or proud, or,
That is true. That is true. Yesterday I was I was on the phone with my husband, and I was like, I don't know why you so attractive to me, because I was just looking in the mirror. I had my hair all over my head, and I just like, it was just a day, and I was like, I don't know why you so attracted to me. I don't feel attracted. And he just like, he get quiet when I say stuff like that, because he'd be like, what are you talking about? But we are our own worst critic.
Yeah.
Because then, 15 minutes later, I go back and look in the mirror, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm bad. I am cute. Okay. tell me nothing.
I know that's
You know, I
right.
just need a little gel, a little
Mhm.
mascara, you know. So
Mhm.
I just wish that, especially now, because there's so many younger women who's on social media and think like, you know, well, she looks like that. You know, I'm gonna go save $10,000 to go get this done on me.
Right.
I'm gonna save.
And really, all you need to do is get your hair done.
That's
And I promise you.
That's it.
You will feel 10 times better once you get your hair done.
That is so true. That is so true. I don't know what it is. I don't think no one is perfect.
Right.
No one is perfect.
Right.
But I do feel like, you know, God made us the way that He wanted us to be.
We are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yes, we are.
So.
Perfect. We are perfect within ourselves. Do you think, how do you think the more pressure comes for being, you know, perfect? Does it come like in a workplace? Is it in relationships, friendships? Like, what do you think you feel like, okay, I have to be the best?
Perfection is like expected.
Yeah.
That's a hard question because I would think it would be more so like in society in general, wherever you go, because everyone has like this unspoken social contract that we uphold with each other, that when we go out, we expect to look a certain way. When we're speaking, we're expected to speak a certain way, conduct ourselves in specific ways. All of these things it's all contributed to by everyone. You know, everybody plays their part. So it's like when someone does something that's outside of the norm of that social contract that everyone's holding together, then that's when they're like looking at you like, oh, well, that's not perfect because that's not normal, or that's not what's expected. But I don't know, that's a slippery slope there, because anywhere you go, you know,
you have to.
Someone is expecting, you know, something from you. Rather you behave, you know, in a way that is expected, or whatever it is, you know, it's expected of you to go out and look presentable and not act a fool, and you know, all of these things. And we set the tone for that. All of us contribute to that, you know, in daily life. So when you go to work, you know, everybody's putting on a mask. You know,
exactly.
Everyone's trying to play the role of what's expected. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up, but I have a question for you.
Okay.
What would you say to the little girl in you, your younger self? What would you say to that girl, knowing what you know now about being perfect and anxiety? How would you calm her?
I would tell her that everything she wants to be, she already is. She just needs more time to see it.
I like that.
Yeah.
You just spoke to a little girl like me.
Oh.
I appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me. We're gonna continue to talk.
Yes.
And we're gonna do this again.
Yes,
I really
thank
enjoyed
you for having me.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, this is it for us. We appreciate you joining in. This is another episode of Let Me Fix That Crown, Sister. Do not forget to fix someone's crown today. Give a compliment, love on each other, hug each other. We need each other. Love y'all. Bye.